Hello crafty friends, this is Amy. Welcome to Create with Amy 507. I printed out just a cute little cow that I had found a silhouette on the internet and just cut it out and traced it around on this board. I went down and cut it out on my scroll saw, and now I'm just going to use some plastic wrap on this little cow. And this technique, you put the plastic wrap down, you put your paper down and apply a hot iron, and basically that plastic wrap becomes the glue, and it does really work. This paper is a Stampin Up, and it's a little thicker than what I normally use, so it took longer, but mostly it did adhere down. And I'm checking it and making sure there's nothing not secured down. And there was a little piece on the legs, and I found it, and then you just apply more heat. And if you needed a little bit of glue, like a glue gun, that would, not a glue gun, but like a glue stick, that would work too. I just wanted to rough it up a little bit, so I'm just taking some sanding paper and roughing that up. Okay, I got out the Waverly plaster color. It's kind of a cream and it works great for Farmhouse Decor. Just going to apply that to a 12 by 12 piece of MDF. And I only did one coat. And then I'm just using more paints, and this one would be the antique wax, just to add in a little more distressed looking. And then I got out my Waverly Steel and adding that in there. And you just kind of keep going at it to see what it, how you like it. And it seemed like it was just maybe a little dark, so then I got out the Waverly White. I did put some of that on there, as well as doing the sanding. And I just have learned, recently with chalk paint, it's like makes everything so nice and smooth. Now I've just got an ice cream lid, and I just wanted like a half circle, very light. And I'm just going to put some lettering from, these are from Dollar Tree. Just going to put one up along that nice little curve I made. It just gives you a little guideline, and then I'm actually going to put another word in here, farm fresh milk. And I like how the one word is smaller and these are larger just by a little bit. It just gives it a little bit more variety. Now, if you have something that's not quite exact, you can always add in a little heart and it'll balance it out. And then just putting some Aleene's on the back. And then I did weight it down so it would stick nicely. I allowed all this to dry before I continued on by putting on some jute string, twine, whatever you call it. I went around 3 times with that, and this is what I came up with. Now, if you didn't have a scroll saw, you could just use an image. Or sometimes you'll find, like, it'll be like a metal piece. You could put a metal piece on there from like Dollar General, or, it's just the idea. This is very fun to do. On to the next DIY. This is a really quick and easy one. I bought these 3 pieces at Dollar General. And these were only $1, and I just wiggled that metal or the wire until it snapped off, and I'm just taking some beads and I'm going to add some black paint and make them all black and let them dry. Now decide where you want your, what order you want them in. And I'm just basically going to put twine, a bead in the middle, more twine so it can hang on this, and just make a little hanger. Instead of them being separate, I just put them together. So pretty easy to do. Dollar General's really kind of stepped up their game when it comes to farmhouse decor. Gosh, they've got some cute signs. I was in there a couple days ago, and the farmhouse stuff, like they had a cow, they have some pretty flowers. Just wanted to mention here, I'm just putting the knot at the top so the bead stays in place. Their bedding, they've got some cute stuff, and little buckets, and just, I don't know, I just was having a lot of fun that day in the Dollar General. And we've got a relatively new one in the town of Mountain Lake. So it's fun to go in there because the workers care, and they've been keeping it nice and clean, and they decorate it. Here it is. Is this not cute? And did you see how easy that was? I just love this. And there really was nothing, you know, not much to it. $3, folks. This is so much fun. I just love it. I'm hoping I can find more things like this to show you how quick and easy things can be made. On to the next DIY. Okay, I'm going to take some ribbon, and it's 18 inches. All of these ribbon pieces are 18 inches long. Going to take some thread and go along the very bottom and just do just kind of a sewing so you can pull it together and gather it. Once you've got it ran through, you take both ends and just gather it together. Take your time and pull it, and then I tied it off, and what you have is just kind of like a little fabric flower. And so I did that with the cream color, and also I had a pretty yellow, and I went with that one. One of those fun things that you can use what you have on hand. Don't necessarily need to go out and buy anything. I'll bet a person could make this work with your wire ones too that are kind of threaded with wire. This cute little window came from Target, and I had some of this garland from Dollar Tree. Just made a little wreath, and I didn't like how high it was, so I brought it back down, redid it with the glue, and then I took my flowers and added those in there. The hot glue and the fabric holds very well. And it needed a little bow, so I have just like a subtle green color, and it's actually an old ribbon from Stampin Up. It's called the color was called Old Olive. And so I put that on the bottom, and I thought that's perfect. Now it needs a little something to go with it. So on to DIY number 4. These cute little, they're 4x4 little signs. They work perfectly in 3-tiered trays. I'm going to doctor this one up. We're going to add some more of that plaster color. I did a couple of coats. Now this is so much fun. I have got some more stuff in my Etsy shop, and I'm just going to walk you through the papers that are in here. I believe I put 9 of these on my shop site, and I'm going to pick out one of the colors that kind of matches somewhat that little window, and I just love how beautiful these papers are. So check out my Etsy shop. Maybe you'll find something you like on there. I appreciate it. I'm going to go with that one. I'll show you. It'll pop right back. Cut your paper down, and I'm just going to use Mod Podge to adhere it to the bottom of the box. And then I got out my dies. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and so I can list that. If you have like a die cutting machine, this is how you use those, and it basically pinches the dies in between two layers, and that cuts the paper. And it's always fun to have extra things that you can add to and make things on the go. And I wanted it to match somewhat that ribbon, so this paper is Old Olive color. And if you buy one of my sets of the collection sets, Farmhouse, I can add one of those papers in there. I will list it so we can get one of those, just one sheet of the Old Olive cardstock, so you can kind of see how well it matches with that. And then we're just going to put the Hello Friend on, and then that tiny little dot. I've got this pick me up tool from Stampin' Up, and it's got just like a little bit of a adhesive on there, and it doesn't stick to it, but it will pick things up. Allow that to dry, and it just turned out cute. Everything kind of matched and made such a nice little display. That window, I've been keeping it and I didn't know what to do with it. Finally decided today I know what I'm going to do with it. Thank you, friends, for coming along. I appreciate it. You take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.